Hey Flosstube, how you guys doing? It's Lori here, also known as Sharky Stitcher on this channel and on Instagram. We talk about cross stitching on this channel, just a little hobbyist. Excuse me, just inhaled some of my spit right there doing my intro, so pardon me. But anyways, last time I spoke with you guys saw my whip parade, which I uploaded while I was in Costa Rica. And I miss Costa Rica. I am being traumatized by the air here in Ohio. It was like -3 the other day and it was snowing today. So I'm really missing the palm trees, but it was a fabulous trip. I've been to Costa Rica before, but I never got to the coast. This was for a massage CEU workshop. So I went there a few days before the workshop so I could get some beach time. I went on a kayaking / snorkeling excursion. The snorkeling there wasn't amazing, which I knew it wasn't going to be. I mean, I've snorkeled the Red Sea, and after you've been in those waters, everything else is going to be not that impressive. So, but it still was cool. I saw an eel. Can't remember the scientific name, but basically he was white and he had like red spots on him. He was gaping at me the whole time, but I tried to get some pictures of him, but of course, whenever I trudged back into the water with my phone, as soon as I found him, my phone, I couldn't get it to record, so that sucks. But, so that was a fun thing I did. I was interested, when I was there was a lot of people taking surfing lessons, because I was in Samara, which is a nice long beach, and it's very flat. And the tide goes way out. Like, I remember one day thinking, should I be worried about a tsunami? Which is a funny story, I'll get back to that in a minute. But I was like, with the water, is it normal that the water goes out this much? Because, you know, just to make sure a tsunami is not coming. But it was pretty normal. The tide went way out, and the sand was very soft. So when the waves did come, they weren't huge, but they were big enough to, like, catch. And if you fell, the sand was so soft, you know, that it wasn't too big of a deal. So, but luckily I ended up not doing that when I was there solo. Once my class started and I started meeting, like, my classmates, there was a bunch of them that wanted to go surfing too, and I thought, well, this is good because this is probably something better to do with a group. So a bunch of us took surfing lessons, and I stood up on the first try. I was so proud of myself. And the last wave that I caught was like a pretty big one. Like, the instructor said it was kind of big for you, but you were doing good, so I let you catch it. And oh my God, I see why it's so addicting. So I got myself a little magnet that has a surfboard for my fridge, just because I thought that was appropriate. I always buy magnets when I travel. My classmates are really cool. My roommate was from Seattle, and there was several people from New York State and New York City. There were some people from Minnesota. One gal was from Savannah. Just one gal was from France. Another dude was from Costa Rica, and he had driven 6 hours to come and take the class. So that was kind of cool. It was kind of neat meeting with other therapists and just kind of talking about, you know, post-pandemic, you know, where massage is kind of a weird field where we got one foot in medical and one foot in, like, relaxation spa. So, like, we're kind of in a weird spot medical wise, but, you know, anything slightly medical, pandemic has affected us. So it was kind of cool seeing how every state was managing us differently. So that was interesting. It reinvigorated my love for my job because the topic was fascinating. The teacher was very knowledgeable and she was really cool. So lots of fun, really enjoyed it. So, but I'm happy to be back and happy to dive back into stitching. And I did dive right back into stitching. I got a lot of progress to show you on that. So I shared some of my pictures of Costa Rica and all that fun stuff. So yeah, you can see those on Instagram. I did think about posting. I took a couple video clips, mostly of animals. So, but I was having trouble uploading my whip parade because my phone's having memory issues. And for me, I had to put a couple clips together. I have to export it from the editing software, and my phone likes to act like it doesn't have enough memory for that crap. So I have to delete a bunch of crap. Well, wouldn't you know it, on this trip, I took a lot of pictures and I took a lot of videos. So I definitely know I don't have enough room to, like, edit a bunch of stuff and upload it. So I don't know that. And I don't know if you guys want non-stitching content. Would you be interested in that at all? I don't know. So, but yeah. So anyways, let's get into this stitching stuff, shall we? So for this video, I'm kind of, as I came back home, it's not quite spring yet, but I'm feeling that need for, like, spring cleaning, you know, because this room needs it. Like, this room's not very big, and so my clutter can kind of pile up. a little bit. So I'm trying to like reorganize the room and stuff, but I've been mostly stitching. Like I've been getting a lot of really good progress done. So while I need to organize, I kind of want to stitch, which I kind of have to ride with that because there's times when I want to do stitching related things, but I don't want to stitch. So that's usually when I organize. So I'm trying to, when I'm in the mood to stitch, I want to stitch. So I've been doing that. But for this video, I thought I would kind of make the focus of it are the stuff that I want to start in 2022. And oh my God, you guys, there's no way I'm going to start all of this. There's no way, you know, and keep up with the stuff that you guys saw in my whip parade that I'm already working on. There's no way. But it's stuff that's been kitted up for a while. I need to start it sometime. So I've kind of piled things up and we can kind of go through everything. I don't have absolutely everything absolutely ready to go. Maybe I'm missing fabric or a piece of silk or a metallic or a bead or whatever. Some stuff is ready to go, but I'm just not ready to start it yet because I'm one of those starters that I like to get a decent chunk done before I put it away and rotate off onto something else. So if I'm not ready to devote that much time to starting it, I don't start it. So, but I thought we could go over a few things. So I've got a pile of Chatelaines, which need to get started because I've got so many Chatelaine kits. I need to start a couple of them. I've been really hemming and hawing with my Chatelaine fabric. And the problem with Chatelaines is they tend to be bigger. So like for instance, Polar Beauty Mandala, that is 295 square by 295. So that means the fabric I need is 27 by 27. So that means I basically need at least half a yard, you know, and that's kind of on the skinny side, you know, because usually a half yard's like 26 wide or something. So I don't know if I want to, you know, I'm asking myself, do I want to sacrifice that inch? So, because, you know, buying a full yard, that's kind of a lot. I mean, and sometimes I buy a full yard and it's not what I wanted it to be. So, I mean, if I was just buying white or plain colored fabrics, it wouldn't be a problem at all. My problem is that I love over-dyed fabrics, but I have to love the fabric I stitch it on. So I'm just nitpicky that way. But anyways, let's get into, this is a thing I have wanted to start for a super long time. And I've had all the floss for it, but the reason I have not started this design, I just can't land on a fabric for her. And that design is Mirabilia's Deepest Love. Now I consider her, there, see the other two girls over here, I consider these three girls the original trio, which they were. At one point when I started stitching, these were the only three mermaids. Got Waiting for Ships right there, got Mermaid of the Pearls there, and Deepest Love right here. So since I have those two, I gotta do her, but I can't land on the fabric. The problem with it is her tail color and that shawl. Because of this shawl and the little see-through effect, I don't want to do her on a fabric that's too light because then I feel like you'll lose like the see-through effect of the shawl. But most of the fabric colors I'm looking for are kind of the same as her tail. So I've got a fabric order kind of on, well, I've placed it, you know, but you know, fabric sometimes takes a little while. I ordered it from Under the Sea Fabric, so usually she gets it out in like 8 weeks or so. I've ordered a few pieces that maybe will work for her. And then I have this piece that I'm kind of eyeballing. So just to give you another look, here's her. Here's her flosses. So very pastels, some greens, flesh and pinks. Though remembering the pinks don't take up too much, so don't look at those too hard because it's probably like in her lips and like that's it. So this is fabric that I had ordered from Under the Sea Fabrics, and this is Hades Realm. This is a hand-painted fabric. And I'm considering this because it's got a multitude of tones. So when you hold the threads up to them, the greens only get into trouble when we get into the darker part. But if you look at her, one of the darker parts is at the bottom, which would probably be in there. So this is the problem I'm having. But I mean, this is kind of a gothic dark fabric. I was thinking of something maybe a little bit more sinister for this. And I feel like she's kind of romantic, I guess, you know, not very sinister. So I'm not fully sure, but I'm entertaining the idea. I've even thought of like maybe putting her on some kind of like a light purple or something, because I've had many Picture This Plus fabrics for her and I like them, but they almost match her tail. Like, where's this other fabric? I was like, ooh, that would be really cool for her. This is Whimsical Winter. I was thinking of it for her, but look at that. It practically matches all the greens. So her tail would pretty much turn invisible on this one. So that one got thrown out the window. I have decided for her, though, she is definitely going on an opalescent, because Waiting for Ships is on a very boring fabric, because I stitched her 20 years ago and that's all we had, you know. We didn't have overdyed opalescents, but she is stitched on an overdyed fabric, so the color is more interesting, but it's not opalescent. So I've decided, just to kind of complete the circle of all three of these, she's going on an opalescent, just to make her different. That, and she really, like, of the three, she has the least amount of beads and sparkle, so she needs the little extra kick, in my opinion. So yeah, I'm thinking about this one, not sold on it yet. I'm intrigued by the idea, though, just because, you know, I think it might solve that color problem, because it's not just one color. So her tail's definitely not going to blend in on it. But I got a couple other fabrics on the way. She needs to get started, just because I've had her in stash for, when was she made? Let's see. Does it say? I can't see it from back here. I'd probably have to open it up to look at it, but at the very least, this was out in 1998, because I think that's when I bought this design. So I've had her in stash for that long. She's also out of print now and is hard to find, as a lot of the older Mirabilias are. But that's one that I'm like, you need to start that one, because you've had that sitting ready to go for so long. I did see someone once stitched, if anyone's familiar with the Air by Terrence Nolan or Dimples Design, that's a male merman holding a baby. He's got a purple tail. He's got like some pink flowers. I think the baby's tail is purple too. And someone stitched him, and then they stitched her like she's kind of, you know, looking at them. So like they were a couple, and that was kind of cute. I don't have the Air. I do have one of my other kitted up items is Romance of the Sea. So why don't we just go straight to that? This one, I think I still need some floss. And I haven't started this one yet. I am very excited about the fabric for it, though. So this is Kaleidoscope by Fabrics by Stephanie. I have so many pieces of this, and you're going to see it a couple times tonight. So this is the first piece of Kaleidoscope I ever bought. It's kind of a mainly blue-green, but it's got pretty much every other color kind of thrown in there. You kind of get the idea. It never kind of shows up with the, you see mostly the blues and the greens, but you can see there's some other colors in here. If I fold it in half, you guys probably see it a little better. So yeah, but this design is going on there. This is Romance of the Sea. This is also out of print, as well as the Air is. And I haven't really hunted for the Air just because I had these two. One of the reasons I'm being kind of slow on starting this is my habit of wanting to stitch skin over one. That is a lot of skin. And I'm probably going to want to stitch them over one. And that's going to be a pain in the ass. That, and I'm not sure about his hair color. Because he's actually, you can't really tell from this picture, he's got like a beard. But because he's blonde, like you can't really see it too well. So I have kind of thought about maybe changing his hair color. Maybe even just swapping them. But then her hair would match her tail. And I wouldn't like that either. So that's why I haven't started them yet. But they're actually super sparkly. There's a lot of metallics. I do still need some of the metallics too. My threads for this piece also are not even kind of sort of organized. Like, look at this. I dipped into my stash for some of them. I had to buy some of them. And this one, where is it? Oh, here it is. One of the metallics I had on this super old spool. And I was just like, whatever. What's the point of having it in stash if you don't, you know, use it when it calls for it? And let's see here. These are all the beads that I need for it, and I don't have hardly any of them. I think I've tossed a couple in here. Probably will convert to delicas. What size fabric is this? It's a 32 count, so yeah, delicas for sure, so they'll fit better. So, but yeah, I got several beads in here, but it's just not finished yet. I would love to start them because I have this thing where, you know, I like stitching mermaids, but I kind of mostly for the, you know, a while there had Mirabilia mermaids. I want to stitch some other brand mermaids. God, I love this fabric though. Can I get it to show up right? Oh, I just think it's so pretty. And that's Kaleidoscope, the first piece I bought, and you will see it a couple more times tonight. It's kind of like the Fabrics by Stephanie equivalent of Pictureless Plus's Da Vinci to me. Like, I love that fabric so much. I buy it a lot. And it comes slightly different, and then I'm kind of not upset because then I can use it for different projects, and it, you know, doesn't look like I've got the exact same thing, you know? So I like that. Okay, one bin down. Lots more to go. Let's see, this is not a full binge. Okay, yeah, this one, no fabric. Don't know where I'm going with fabric yet either. My throat's dry. Hang on a second. I'm going to take a drink of my vitamin water. There we go. Alrighty. So this is a Bella Filipina design. Basically, all I have of this design is a pile of silk. So this is Cleopatra. I would really like to stitch her. I am torn on the fabric though. Like, I kind of like the pictured fabric, but I would kind of like a fabric that's kind of like Kaleidoscope, where it's mostly like a warm color, but it's got like some different, you know, multicolor in the background. I have a couple pieces of fabrics from design, you know, like Seraphim Fabrics has one that I'm like, ooh, that one might be cool, but I haven't ordered it yet. And I did just make kind of a big fabric order, so I don't know that I'm doing that right away. And, you know, this is the only material I have for her. I don't have the floss or anything yet. She does have a boatload of silk, so I don't even think I have the beads for her, except for I just happened to have, oh yeah, I got this thing of beads because it's the flowers, little marguerites, I think these are called. It's like a little flower, little topaz, you know, colored flower. I got that from 123 Stitch, along with the only 2 metallics that were in stock. I still need more of those. You know, the metallics are a little bit hard to get your hands on these days, and I think I need to order another skein of this gold color. But lots of water lilies. I love water lilies. They're so soft. That, and, you know, they're 12 ply. So it feels like they go a long way. You know, you get your use out of them. But, oh, yeah, they're so soft. I love them. I love Egyptian history. So I'd really like to get her going. And several people have posted her on Instagram, and she is gorgeous. Some people have played around with her skin tone too, which I think is cool. I mean, I'm not going to get into the whole what color was Cleopatra. We're not going to know. It's so long ago. But I do think a chick that, I know she's a queen and she gets sheltered and stuff, but I'm not thinking a Mediterranean heritage chick that spends as much time in a sunny place like Egypt, which I have been, and I know how brutal the sun is there. I don't think she would be that pale. So I might play with her skin tone too, which will be pretty easy. I could probably just dip into Temptress of the Cursed Sea, who has 5 skin tones, and I could probably use that to make adjustments, because sometimes I'm not too good at converting skin. I say that, but I actually haven't really tried it, you know? So I know there's like a conversion somewhere where someone's got like a template for it, so I might just look into looking that up. Don't think she's that pasty white. So I might play with that a little bit. Okay, then this one's definitely getting started. I've been wanting to start this girl for a while. My problem is landing on the fabric, which is funny because I bought her from a kit and she came with fabric, but I'm not using it. So, Mirabilia's limited edition Halloween fairy. I've been wanting to do her for so long. I love these little holiday fairies, and I want to get more. I want to get the New Year's. I want to get the Easter. I don't care so much for the Christmas elf and the Thanksgiving fairy. I'm kind of on. But definitely those other two I want to get and stitch. So there's her threads there. I do think I'm going to change one. I think, which one is it? Maybe the one in the wing, because I think it's supposed to be this color, and there's no real change in color on it. And I kind of want that change in color for her wings a little bit. So I think I'm going to pick through. I've still got a lot of silks left over from like Taj Mahal, and I've got a couple greens in there that are close to this, and they have more of a variety in it. So I think I'll pull that out for it. Fabric. I've got two pieces shoved in here. One's opalescent, one is not. So I've got this one and this one. So this one's kind of a purple with bits of brown, and this one's more brown with bits of purple. And then this one's sparkly. This one is 36 count. This one's 32 count. So not sure. I kind of am digging the darker one a little bit, just because I feel like, I don't know, just feel like it kind of is more Halloween-y feeling. Not sure. So she is getting started soon, though. I will make my mind up on the fabric, and I do still have a couple other fabrics in my fabric stash that I might play around with a little bit. So, but I've gotta get my floss substituted, and then once I do, I can stitch her. And she's not really huge, so that's another reason I want to get her into the rotation. The problem I've had, though, with not huge designs, such as this lady over here, is, oh, she's not big. If you keep stitching on her, she'll be done. And then I end up getting stuck on them and feeling like I have to finish them, because it's like, oh, if you put her away, you're not going to touch it for another year, which ain't wrong. But, you know, I'm used to stitching on big projects, and it's like, oh, you finished her face. Okay, you can put her away for now. This design, where is it? Okay. I actually have the fabric on the scroll bars for this one. And this is the fabric I had to do surgery on for my how to repair damaged fabric video that I did. And this was a very specific type of damage. Basically, a thread was cut. So I was showing you how to reweave, especially on over-dyed fabric where the colors change on it. So this was the fabric I repaired for that. So that was one reason I just put it on the bars, is because I had ironed it. I didn't want to fold it back up and have to re-iron it again. So I put it on the bars and rolled it up so it would stay nice and wrinkle-free. This is also Kaleidoscope. Let me go ahead and untie it so I can show you guys what this piece looks like. This one's opalescent. The other one I just showed you for Romance of the Sea is not opalescent. So here's what this piece looks like. And this piece is more green than blue. And it is for Brilliant Mermaid. Again, another not Mirabilia mermaid. The problem is, though, which I've mentioned this in some of my past videos, she is a conversion. So she was not stitched in DMC. This company, Dome, is like somewhere in Asia, and they had their own flosses, but they had a DMC conversion listed with the design. But some of them were a little funky, like her hair was looking super brassy. I pretty much stole the hair from a Lavender and Lace blonde angel, and I'm going to be using that. And she's got a shit ton of metallics. So, gosh, like, and I'm converting some of them because there's one color in there that I'm like, I don't really like it, because her chart is, the chart itself is colored. And looking at the chart, I'm like, I like those colors better than how it turned out in the picture. So I'm going to aim more for what the chart is. And there's just one color that it's this blue right here. It looks more purple inside the chart, and I kind of like that better. So I'm going to be playing with that. But oh my God, look at all these metallics. So, oh my gosh. Yeah, lots. And then I've got her sectioned onto, oh, here's her hair. Here's a certain part of her tail. Here's another part of her tail. Here's her skin. Probably gonna do it over one. Which sometimes I'm like, why do I do this to myself? Because I don't love stitching over one skin. I just love the effect of it. And I think my problem is because I've been doing her skin over one. Lately I've been doing the tent stitch 2/1 for the skin, and I'm not sure I'm loving it. I used to do 1/1. The 2/1 tent stitch I liked just because it saved you blend issues, because sometimes you'll have a floss blend where there's 2 strands of one color. So one technique people said to do if you hit that on over 1 is to cross one way with one color and the top leg with the other. But most people agree you can't even tell. So with a tent stitch, you don't have to worry about it because you're just stitching 2 strands one time, and that's enough coverage. So I'm not sure that I'm loving that technique. So maybe if I tweak the technique, maybe I won't loathe over 1 so much. That, and I have to rewire my brain, because when I'm doing the tent stitch and I'm only doing the one cross, you know, you're not doing a full cross with the tent stitch. So I make that cross go the way my top leg usually goes, which means I have to do it kind of the opposite. So then I have to rewire myself when I'm going back to full cross stitches over 2. So I screw my own brain up a little bit. So since she's such a conversion and the spot I'm likely to want to start her, because the one thing I don't have to worry about converting is her skin and her top, and I've got her hair done. So I'm going to want to go up and do that first. And I'm not really looking into jumping in on over 1 skin. So maybe I'll start with her little boob thing and just start there, and then I can do her hair and then just, you know, go from there. That, and I do know I like the green and the orange part of her tail, so I can at least get that part done. So that, and I really like the fabric, so, and it'll be fun. And oh, and another cool thing about her, she's got all these swags of beads, and they're not stitched down. They are like strung, so like they're loose, like a necklace. Like it actually will move on her, and her bracelets are the same way too. I thought that was kind of cool. You know, that's not something you see all the time. I just thought that was neat. She's also got some little dangles coming off her flower. This flower I'm modifying because I have the colors pulled for it, and I'm like, those aren't jiving with me. Like, I'm tweaking that a little bit. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm doing with it exactly. The yellow might, no, actually I really don't like this yellow, because look at this. This is highlighter yellow. Like, that is too wild. We need to find something a little bit more buttercuppy. So I'll be tweaking that. But yeah, she's on deck. All this stuff is on deck. Someday, somehow, I'll get these going. So, but yeah, look at that. It's a mess. But the nice thing is it all fits nicely in my bin. And then I slide it out of the way. So, okay, another one down. I'm going to straighten this fabric out just because I'm a little compulsive about my fabric. I don't like, especially if I've already ironed it, I don't like creases in it. So I'm just going to roll it nice and up again. I've already got my needle in there. I need to do something about that, because if I leave that in there, it could possibly leave a rust mark, and that would be no bueno. But I've got it on there like that because this has several colors in it, and I've already decided where I want certain colors to land, so I have to remember where my up is. So I've kind of made sure I marked the needle just so. But yeah, I need to get this one started. At least a couple stitches. Maybe just do her bra thing and call it good, because I know with the color with that's cool. It's just the rest of it that I'm gonna have to play with a little bit. Okie dokie. All right, this one, I'm super excited to start her. And I feel kind of silly because when I was kitting her up, Luda, the queen, the goddess, she was starting this design, and now she's almost done with it. So it's taking me a little while, but this is Fairy Idyll. This is another discontinued Mirabilia. She's a big girl. I like her. I'm really drawn to the yellowness of her, which is funny. That's not my favorite color usually, but something about the soft green and the yellow is just, I like it. So I basically think I have everything, and I could get her started, but I think I have to cut my fabric, maybe. I do want to double check and make sure my fabric's big enough, because she's big. So this is 32 count Valor by Picture This Plus, and this is 26. Okay, I think this is good because this is 26 by 35, and I think she needs to be like 20 by 20 or something, maybe a little bigger. I could be wrong, but I think this will be plenty big for her. I was going back and forth on fabric for her for a while because I loved this color, but I kind of wanted her in an opalescent. But then, you know, it takes forever to get stuff from Picture This Plus, but 123 Stitch happened to have this in stock. And when I ordered it, because I had a smaller piece, and that's how I landed on, ooh, I really like how this color looks with the flosses and the silks and all that. So here's some of the silks. So when I ordered it from Picture This Plus, and yes, it's 32 count. There are a fair few beads, but not so many. They don't look dense, so I think they'll be okay, especially if I switch to delicas. But oh, I was just dying, and this is going to be hard because I don't want to dump these out. But I love how the yellows look on this. There are some greens, but for the most part, I think they're going to be okay on here. They're not going to blend in too much. So, yeah. I need to get this started because she's pretty big. I also need to finish converting the beads. I do have a good start on it. Like, see here. Oh, gosh, I even have them organized in here. Wow, I was doing good that day. But yeah, here's one conversion. Those match nicely. This one, this is a bead that I wasn't expecting to match because it's a weird color. But I pretty much found the perfect delica for it. It's kind of this weird pink and green matte bead. And I found like a perfect match. I think I have this one pulled for it, but we're not sure about this one. You'll probably be able to see. It's a little more vivid, the delica is. That, and this is a frosted glass bead. And these ones are a slightly different shape, so they might be okay. I'm sure these are in her dress probably. I know I have a delica that matches these. I just haven't pulled them out. And white, that's easy to sub. And then I've got, let's see, it looks like I've got a little pile here. Ugh, so many basically an oil slick matte bead. So there's the Mill Hill, and I've got 3. I know you guys can't see that. I've got 3 possible delicas for it. This is one thing about converting is sometimes I can't decide until the very last minute until I'm like stitching it on something. I love delicas though, so I will never not convert to them just because I have like 5 tubes for one, you know, color in a project. That's why I stash them, so I have plenty. But yeah, sometimes I do take it to the last minute, which I did on this one because I subbed the beads on her. You guys will see her last. She's gorgeous. Okay, this is a Lavender and Lace. I have not stitched a Lavender and Lace. I have several, but I've not started one yet. Well, I've decided this one has to be my first. This is Angel of the Sea. I'm not typically an angel person, but gosh, her angels are so cool. Like, just the ribbons, like, I don't know, they're just so cool looking. And I love the waves, and there's like a seagull. Oh gosh, stupid glare. There's like seashells at the bottom. It's really cool. This is Nessie by Fabrics, Under the Sea Fabrics. That's what I've decided I am stitching her on. It's an opalescent, and I like this because it's kind of like reminds me of Earth because it's like blue with splotches of green. And she does have a lot of those colors in her, but I think it'll be fine. I did consider maybe doing this instead, but I think I'll run into the same problem. Like the blues kind of match this a little bit, the greens match this a little bit. They're both an opalescent, so they're both, you know, possible. But I think overall, the colors in her dress, I think they'll stand out more on this one. So that, and this is a big old piece. I think I bought this piece for a possible for Amphitrite, Queen Goddess of the Sea. She was a big design, and I really wanted to find a perfect fabric for her. So I bought a lot of like half yards. So I kind of want to use this one just so I can use up some of this fabric so it doesn't like go to waste, since I ordered it for a project and then ended up not using it for that project. I'm very picky about my fabrics. It has to be perfect, you know. Let's see, I've got my metallics for her, not too many. I think I need beads for her still, but I think I have all my floss. Obviously I haven't bobbinated anything yet. I do have a whole stack of like the little these things, and I think one will be good for her, so I should get that one kitted up. But that will be my first Lavender and Lace design. There is one other I considered starting the kit up, but because my little 2 kit up pile is so big, I was like, don't make it any worse. I really like the Fairy Godmother. Kind of really digging that one too. But I've decided this one will be my first. So I got to get this one started first. So why even think about another one? Because it's fun starting things, that's why. Okay, this one's a very fresh design that I'm kitting up. And I want to start her really bad. Another Bella Filipina. So, this is Temptress of the Cursed Sea. Look at her. Now, the last time I showed you her, I was kind of waffling on the fabric a little bit. Mostly because I had purchased my Galaxy fabric. I'm still not sure which I'm going to do. I am kind of leaning towards the original that I had picked just because it's nice and gothic looking. The only problem is this is a, oh, it's a crazy count. Isn't this a 36 count, I think? And there's beads. So I'm not sure. But this Galaxy, isn't that fabulous? I freaking love it. Ugh. But, like, here's Galaxy. Here's, try not to dump everything on the floor. They're like, I think, too close. And I think it'll just muddy everything up. I'm just not sure. I do think this purple looks fabulous on it, though. But yeah, I'm just not sure. Like, I just really like this fabric is the main problem. And she's a mermaid. She's not a mermaid. She's a zodiac sign, but she's aquatic. So I don't know. It's kind of like stitching 2 mermaids on the same fabric. Like I told you guys many videos ago, this whole wall here, I'm pretty much going to hang a bunch of mermaids on once I get enough of them hanged. Right now, these 2 girls are just having a chat over there. But I haven't hung any of them yet just because I want to have a couple of them framed before I start putting holes in the wall, you know, and then I would need to move things around. But I want them all like on different colored fabrics. I don't want it to just be all blue. You know, I want, you know, her to be on like some gothics, ocean waters. You know, she's on like a turquoise. Renaissance Mermaid's on like a tanzanite color. Heiress of Atlantis is on a blue and purple. Like, I want lots of variety. This would be some cool variety. And I love this fabric. Oh, it's just gorgeous. But I am concerned. Like, see, there's some dark parts on this fabric. And her hair is really dark. So if her hair happens, and it's very snaky, it goes all over the place. So even if I try to like make it land somewhere, like this piece is only so big, like the middle's where the middle is, you know, so it would be really hard for me to find a spot and make sure her hair lands somewhere where it's going to stand out enough, you know, so I'm just torn. This fabric is wonderful though. I love it. I do think either of these will look good. This one I think is great just because, like, I don't know, I feel like it all goes really well and it's pretty. Whereas this one, it goes well, but it will make the colors of the mermaid pop more, and I'm kind of more down with that effect. But again, this is, I think, a 36 count. I feel the label in here somewhere. Let's find it. I'm pretty sure it's a 36 count. Yep, 36 count. That means any beads, which they're on her. That's the whole bead pack right here. These will be getting converted to Delica, but I have never beaded on 36 count. And just looking at this, that's going to be fun. Now I haven't, actually I have opened the chart a little bit. Then I've eyeballed other people's that have started her. She does have a couple swags, which that's one thing about this fabric. This fabric's cool. I like it, but seeing other people that are stitching her on other fabrics, she's got all these swags of black pearls that you can't see because this fabric's too dark. So I'm like, you know, this one, I think it's light enough that they'll show up, but then I worry about this one. Is it too busy to where you won't see it? So these are the reasons why I have piles of things to start. I haven't started them yet because I want the fabric to be perfect. So I'm struggling with that a little bit. I do really want to start her. I will probably at some point just smack around my inner, you know, wafflings and be like, just start her on something. It's gonna be great regardless. So, but I have both of those fabrics tucked in here just because right now there's nothing else lined up for them. I did, you know, like, oh, if you don't want to stitch her on this, you could stitch Halloween Fairy on that. That was a thought. But yeah, I'm very choosy with my fabrics. I also pulled this fabric aside. I haven't done a top yet, but let's do that. I do think the purples might be a bit of a problem on this. This is Ursula by Fabrics Under the Sea Fabrics. This is the side that I like because it looks more stripy. But this would be cool, but let me pull just 2 purples out. Look at that. Yeah, too close. Not doing it. That was an easy decision. Wouldn't it be nice if it was always like that? Because I know there's a lot of that. Like, she's got a lot of it in her tail. So, nope. I do think I bought this piece for that. Because I had thought, like, oh, it's lighter at the top. Her dark hair will really show up well. And then it gets darker. And then the purple of her tail will show up. But she's got black in her tail, too. So, nope, nope, nope. I do... Gosh, I gotta find something for this. Because I freaking love it. I would like a mermaid on that, too. Do I have a purple mermaid? The air is purple. If I want to buy him and put him on this. That's an idea. I like him because he's a dude maid too. Or a mer dude. Or a merman, whatever you want to call it. And don't have enough of those. I do have, what's his name? Triton. Also by Bella Filipina. And I kind of have a piece of fabric that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to do him on this. But I'm not sure. Why am I putting this in here? I am not stitching it on that. I do love these bins. I need to buy more. Just because it just keeps all my stuff organized. Because a lot of stuff I have up here is like, oh, I have this chart and one thing of beads or something, you know. So I'm trying to organize things a little bit better. And this is so nice for my whips. Because that and when I want to stitch it, I pretty much, it sits right here on my desk. And then I have all my stuff. And then when I rotate off a project, it all goes back in and then it goes away. All nice and neat. I love it. Okay, so that's all of my big kitted up things. Now we need to move to chatelaines. Those are kind of messy too, though. Okay, so with chatelaines, I have a lot of European cross stitch kits. And some of them I have fabric ready to go for, and some of them I don't. Let's see here. How am I going to do this? Okay, let's go for Rainforest Lace first, because that sucker, I am so ready to start it, especially after coming back from Costa Rica and seeing all the parrots and the lizards. I am so ready for it. That, and I showed you guys a couple videos ago, finally got my perfect piece of fabric for it. I just need to pick the spot where I'm cutting it, because I had to buy a full yard, because this piece is pretty big. Did I write down somewhere how big it needs to be? I think it needs to be either 26 by 26 or 27, something like that. But anyways, here's my big old whole yard of, again, kaleidoscope for the 3rd time tonight. This one's opalescent. Oh, gosh, I love it. It's so wonderful. And this is the design. It's kind of a grainy picture, but you guys get the idea. So it's a mandala, but it's got tropical plants, it's got frogs, it's got parrots, it's got a snake, a toucan, it's got orchids and lots of greenery and stuff. So I wanted a piece that was kind of, for the most part, a shade of green, because there's a lot of green in this. And I couldn't imagine stitching it on anything other than green. Like, some people have done it on like black and it looks really cool, but to me, when I think of the rainforest, black is not a color I think of, you know, because, well, at least it's like, the rainforest is scary at night, so I don't want to be in it at night. But I wanted it mostly green, but I wanted like hints of other color, because to me that's what a rainforest is, because it's mostly green, but then there's flowers, butterflies, little pops of other color. And then I decided I had to have it opalescent, because I don't know, I'm just a sparkle whore. But yes, this piece is amazing. I just need to pick the perfect spot, because when I pick fabrics like these, I love the fabric, But, you know, Chatelaines are pretty heavy. I mean, this one's kind of on the lacy side. Actually, is this one even called Rainforest Lace, maybe? But there's a lot of open areas there. Ignore the open area on this lower corner here. That was like a glitch. There's supposed to be a sloth or a monkey. I can't remember. But there's a lot of open areas, except for like the center. The center is pretty, that square in the middle, it's pretty dense. So I try to pick spots where maybe the boring part is sort of boring part is covered, and then the cool parts you can see, you know? So I do really love this piece. Oh, I'm so happy. And see, this is what I'm always going for when I'm picking fabric. I want that happiness of, oh my God, this is gonna be awesome. And so here's all the floss. As you can see, it'll stand out just fine. Now, most of the floss, there's not a lot of green because most of the green is the silk. Here's the metallic that I borrowed for that Christmas design that I stitched. Hope I didn't use too much of it. But yeah, there's lots of greens in here and lots of metallics and other colors. This is a big kit. And then here's the bead pack, which this one's got a lot. It's got a lot of crystals in it too. So yeah, I'm super excited. This one, of pretty much all the things I'm showing you tonight, this is the one that I'm like, let's put this on the bars and get her going, because it's been a long time coming. Oh God, this fabric is gorgeous. Yeah, you can kind of see, oh, isn't it pretty? I love it. Love it. So yeah, Kaleidoscope and Banshee. Those are the two I love buying from Fabrics by Stephanie, just because I love when it's like just a play of color. Like, oh, so fun. Okay, so that was Rainforest Lace. So that one's definitely like getting started this year. Then here's one that it's like, I don't think I have the DMC yet. I actually haven't even looked to see what the DMC is for this one. Let's see. I printed a couple. I've been trying to print some Chatelaine stuff. I printed this one. Where did I put it? Maybe I didn't print this one. That I did, and I put it someplace thinking, don't forget it. And then what did I go and do? I forgot it. Okay, so anyways, this is Japanese Zen Moss Garden. I'm pretty sure I have a printout for it somewhere. I'm just not laying my eyes on it. But anyways, it's a mandala. It's got a Japanese kind of theme to it. Here's the fabric I'm using for it. This one's not opalescent, and I'm cool with it. This piece I had ordered for Serengeti. It's a silk weaver fabric, which I don't order from them so much anymore because their customer service kind of really sucks. But this is cast shell linen. It's 28 count Parkland. And it's just a very delicate green. Slightly mottled, just very slightly. And I had ordered this for Serengeti. It's the African Safari mandala. I'd ordered 2 pieces, and I had decided whichever piece I liked the best for Serengeti, I was going to use the other piece on a different design. Well, that just ended up being this design because I didn't really want to stitch it on a white. Thought maybe a gray too, but when I saw the flosses with it, I just really liked this one for Japanese Zen Moss Garden. So what's nice is I ordered this for something else. It's actually a bigger mandala, so I know this is plenty big, which was kind of nice because I think this was a custom cut. So it's actually a square piece, so I don't have to cut it unless I want to save extra fabric, which I don't think I do. So, because I think with Silk Weaver, when you order a custom cut, they serge the whole thing all nice and neat for you, which is nice. So I just need to take a look. I also need to print more of the chart. I have some parts of the chart printed, but I need to zoom in. Usually what I do, you can kind of see a little sneak peek there. That's the center portion for Rainforest Lace. I like to print, especially with this one. So the Chatelaine PDFs. Oh, fun fact, if you're new to Chatelaine, or maybe even old to Chatelaine, because this was news to me, you can now, when you buy the PDFs, they stay in the file on your account in the Chatelaine website where you buy, the charts and stuff. You can always go and re-download. It like saves them for you. So awesome, because I was having this computer issue to where I bought a laptop and downloaded a bunch of stuff and then it died. So I was thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna have to bug Ella and ask her to send me the link so I can download them again and make sure I save it on like a separate file. She probably gets asked that a lot, so maybe that's why she made it to where it pretty much saves it and you can constantly download them if you need them. So that's kind of nice. I know the reason they didn't have it that way before was to keep people from sharing patterns, you know, like going to mom's house, downloading it to her computer, or your friend's house, downloading it to their computer. I think that's why it was that way before. Martina was very careful about protecting her copyright. And so maybe Ella's like, this is too much work. So I'm going to make it a little bit easier. But I'm really cool with that because, oh my gosh, like there were some that when I looked on I had some saved on my other computer. For some reason, like I'd bought 5 one year. I had 4 on that computer, but I was missing 1. So I was so glad I was able to just go and download it and not bug Ella about it. So that was kind of nice. But anyways, back to the PDFs. Depending on what type of chart it was, if it was a mystery, it comes out in little chunks that gradually expand. Typically, like it starts with the middle and then there's like another motif. Then maybe it'll just be a top portion, then a bottom portion, then a side, then a corner, 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 corner. It comes out in pieces like that. But if it's not a mystery, it comes out in quadrants. So the problem with that is I like to finish the center first. So that means I have to zoom in on the center quadrant and print that out 4 times. And then because I'm an old-fashioned paper copy person, I print them out and then tape them all together. That way I can get the middle done and everything's all put together and I don't have to worry about messing up my counting. That way once I get the center all done, then I can pretty much jump off from there. Except for like in the middle portions where things have to meet up. I have to kind of, you know, check that. It wasn't too big of a pain on Taj Mahal just because all of the Taj Mahals, which were at the page break, were all the same. So I could pretty much do one chart, tape it together, and then I could just flip it. Can't do that with Rainforest Lace though, because the orchids are all different on the leaf thing. So I'm gonna have to actually stitch those together. So I may just need to kick myself in the butt and get myself to where I am using an online version and stitching from that instead of using a paper version, because really what's the difference, you know? Because of all the colors on the Chatelaines, I don't highlight and mark it just because they're different colors, unless it's an area where like some symbols are really close, and then I like to at least, you know, mark it. I know there's issues too with the PDFs from Chatelaine, getting them into like pattern viewers to where you can highlight and mark them and stuff. But yeah, I might just have to get with the times and do that. Okay, next Chatelaine on deck. These are all on deck for 2022. I'm not starting these next month, mind you, but 2022 or January, we got a little ways to go. So this one has been kitted up for a little while. This is Caribbean Mandala. So this is a tropical Caribbean. It's got flamingos, it's got hummingbirds, it's got sailboats, it's got coral reefs, it's got, I think these are banana trees maybe, and there's these little birds that are really cute. It's got some more flamingos in here and lots of little plants and stuff like that. So fabric, I finally landed on, I think, yeah, Fabrics by Stephanie. This is a piece of stardust. I think I ordered this with the thought of possibly using it for Queen Amphitrite, but then it was too not oceany looking enough for me. So this is kind of soft green, soft turquoise, soft peaches and yellows, kind of more melon, you know. And I like this because there's so much pink and turquoise in this design. There's whiffs of them in this fabric. And it was one of the things where it's like, I can't decide if I want to use blue because then the blue on it's going to get lost. Can't decide if I want to use yellow because there is some yellow in it and I don't want that to get lost. So it was kind of like, I will just pick them all. So I like this side better. So I don't have the DMC pulled, but here's the beads. I know you can't see that too well. There's lots of pinks and blues and greens. The flosses are going to be even worse. These are the silks. I am missing the MPI. Those are in my order that I made from European cross stitch during the sale. So, but just trust me, these colors look good and I'm happy with this. I do need to buy the DMC still. So, but like I said, Rainforest Lace, that one is first out of the gate. So while I get that one started, maybe I can buy the floss and maybe the NPIs. There's only like 8 NPIs anyways. I think they're mostly in the center though, so might have to get my hands on them. So yeah, that is Caribbean Mandala by Chatelaine Designs. Oh, and there's some smaller chatelaines that I want to do. So that's why I have this little pile here. Oh, and I may as well show you this. This is one I printed off. This is one I'm really itching to start because I've been seeing a lot of pictures of it and there's a lot of people that have finished it recently and I'm like, that one's pretty. And that is Hawaiian Garden. So this piece is a lot and I have an idea for fabric. I want it very similar to the Caribbean Mandala, to where it's a lot of different colors, but it's kind of pastel, but I don't want that same piece. I want it to be a little different. Someone that actually, did she finish it or is she close? The picture she's posting, I'm like, that's about the fabric that I want to do it on too. So I might just see what fabric she's using. But I know I need to order a bigger piece of it. And it's one of them things where I do have another piece of kind of that type. I think it was, it's a silk weaver, but it's so pale. I kind of wanted the colors a little richer, especially for this design. I mean, pale might be good just because this one's really vibrant. I have the kit for this one, but you guys have seen it up close, so I didn't want to pull it out. I do need to get the DMC for this one. But yeah, I'm really thinking I want to stitch this one, so that one might go on deck too. Here's another one, and this one I don't have the kit yet, but this is a big piece, and it's one of the quilt designs by Chatelaine, and it's probably the only quilt I will buy because they are big, and the kits and the cost for the kits are pretty big. So, but this is the Rainforest, and this isn't even the whole thing. Like, it cut off a whole nother row here. There's a bird, a flower, a frog, and a butterfly in each square. So there's a whole nother thing down here, but it's like a quilt, and you could stitch these individually, and that's kind of how they are in the PDF, is like you just get like 2 things at once, and you can either stitch it like an ornament by itself or like this is a quilt. I'm gonna do the quilt. I did think for a minute, because my mom's a quilter, I'm like, maybe I can just do them individually and then maybe we can come up with, but I'm like, that's gonna get big. Like, this is already gonna be pretty big, and I wrote down somewhere how big it's gonna, oh yeah, here we go. Okay, so this design, stitched quilt-wise, is 367 stitches by 367 stitches. So on 28 count, the design area is going to be 26 1/4 by 26 1/4 inches. So I need a 32 inch by 32 inch. That means I'm going to have to get a full yard. Have not decided fabric. I am thinking of maybe a super dark green, you know, like, because this is pictured on black, and I kind of like it. I like black better than white, especially because of the vividness of the colors. But I'm thinking I don't want to go all the way black. I'm thinking maybe a super dark green, like maybe Conifer by Picture This Plus and Opalescent, just for funsies. This kit I did order from European Cross Stitch during the sale. I didn't order the full kit though. I have ordered the bead pack, which wasn't too expensive. I don't think this is beaded too crazily. I probably will add some though, just because I'm that person. And then you have the NPI kit, which there's like 50 plus NPIs used in this one, and I could sub them with DMC, but I don't wanna, because I'm a spoiled brat and I like to spoil myself with silks. But I didn't order that yet. I did order the other thread pack, which includes all the silks that are not NPIs and metallics and pearls, if there's any of those. Like, basically it's every fiber except for DMC, which they never include, and NPI. So I ordered that with the last sale. I think there's some Glorianas in there, so it's probably gonna be a while before I see that kit. So, but this is one, especially coming back from Costa Rica, and there's toucans and macaws and orchids, and I'm really kind of itching to start this. But I got Rainforest Lace Mandala to kind of, you know, occupy me for now. So this one, probably just going to start printing things, maybe start looking at the DMC. I think the DMC list is still extensive, even with the MPIs. I could be wrong, but... And then I've got a few smaller chatelaine designs that I ordered during the PDF sale. And I think one of these, like this first one I'm looking at here, I don't even think this one has a kit. So I'm just going to have to kit it up myself. And this is, she had this little... spices little collection, and these are kind of like real small, like almost ornament size. Like this mushroom up here is probably just a little bit smaller than this, but this is ginger. And yes, this is the chart, but I know you guys can't see anything from this far because it's on the small side here, but I'll probably still try and stitch off of it. And I don't know, it was just kind of fun, and I just want to do a smaller chatelaine. There's still some fun beads and stuff in it, so just want to do a little smaller, more finishable chatelaine. And then I've got another one here. And this one is really pretty. It's basically a mini mandala. And this is freesia crystals. So freesia is a type of flower. It's just like a little bitty mandala. There is a kit for it. I think I ordered the beads. And I think I have those. But I think the thread pack had a Gloriana in it. So I didn't order it this time. Might order it, or did I order it? I can't remember. It's a super small kit if it is one. So, but I think there was a Gloriana in there. So I was like, I'm not doing that just because it's going to take forever to come in. But I've got, you know, the rest of the year to do stuff like this. I don't know fabric for this one. Probably won't do anything too funky, but I need threads first to make that decision anyways. So, okay, that's pretty much everything that I want to start. Like, right now. Actually, no, that's not. There's plenty of other things I do want to start, like little smaller projects here and there. Also, I've got 2 Teresa Wenslers I'm getting ready to start, but I don't have them bundled up yet. And that's another thing that I'm going to get into is some future videos. I was filming a video for tips on starting a Teresa Wensler because she's got a lot of blends, so the video is going to mostly focus on managing the blends and things like that. I had it filmed and everything, but I had to cut it together. And then I had the issues with getting my whip parade to upload. So part of what I had to do to get that thing to upload is I had to delete the videos that I took for that. They weren't too long. It's just going to be a short, like 10-minute, this is how I do it type video. So I thought, I'll just refilm it. And I've decided I'm probably just going to refilm it to where I don't have to cut it. And I can manage that fairly quickly. So I don't have the Teresa Wenslers bundled up nice and neat because I have them ready to film basically. So, but that's a video coming up pretty soon, probably in the next couple weeks or so, maybe before my next Flosstube video. So another future video I'm thinking of doing, which I thought about doing it tonight, but I decided to do kind of the 2020 start wish list tonight, is a fabric tour. Because I'm getting buried in fabric. And I don't know, maybe you guys just want to take a tour. I do have kind of a theme, which you guys can probably guess what the color themes are. I have a favorite color, and then I have a design that I like to stitch a lot. My favorite color is purple. I stitch a lot of mermaids, so I have a lot of turquoise, oceany colors. So that's going to be a lot of what it is in my fabric stash. So if you guys want to see that, just let me know. I mean, I'm probably going to show it to you whether you want to see it or not anyway, so to be honest. But, and then let's go into my whip here. So this is the only thing I've worked on since I've gotten back. And I'm loving her. She's gorgeous. This is Pisces by Nora Corbet. And let me just show you guys real quick. You guys probably saw her if you watched the last video, but here she is. She's gorgeous. I love her. She actually has eyes. A lot of times Mirabilias don't have eyes. Like their eyes are closed, but she has eyes. And you might be like, wow, I can tell exactly where you stopped. Yeah, you will. That's because I took a bead intermission. Oh, isn't she so pretty? Love her. Get a little closer here. So, there you go. This is going to sound weird, but I really like the font for the word Pisces. I think that's cool. I stopped beading when I hit the Pisces symbol right here. And then, let me show you this. I'm thinking I'd moved that symbol down because I want to add this treasure here. This is a teardrop. This is a Paradise Shine teardrop. I just thought it looked really good. But yes, I had to give myself a break from Over One Skin. And I was going to try something different because I'd seen Luda doing this in her video and I thought I might try that. And she had put beads down and then stitched the over one around them. But then I stopped because first off, this is really dark through here. So, you know, it's kind of harder to stitch on darker fabrics. And I didn't want to have beads to navigate around. So I decided I was just going to stop in the places where, you know, the stitches had stopped. So I will be filling in the over one in here and then adding the beads for that spot. And I haven't beaded her little fin things yet. And then she's got beads that go in like a circle around here. This is a new clay by Kim from the last video. This is my first kaleidoscope flower in that, you know, it's not like an actual species of flower. It just kind of makes like a little kaleidoscope design. And I got a purple one, so cool. And then I think this is a new clay by Kim. This one I got around New Year's. Isn't she pretty? I love her. She's like a gothic purple. And then this is a fairly new clay by Kim. This came out around Valentine's Day. This is funny because like she had Sweethearts last year, but they looked a lot different. But I had my mom, I was talking to her about them and she's like, you know, I could probably use one of those. So I ended up giving her one of my clay by Kims. And then this one came out, so I like replaced it. I like this one better too anyway, so it worked out well. This is a little snowflake thingy I got. That one's cool. And this is a little Valentine thing. I actually got this while I was in Costa Rica. So I missed the Cupids though, so that sucks, but I can try again next year, I guess. So, but yeah, I'm really loving her. Gosh, she's so awesome on this fabric too. I love that it looks kind of spacey because she's a zodiac sign, you know, based on the constellations. And I just think the turquoises and the purples just look so nice together. And speaking of things looking nice, I have decided about some framing ideas for her. First off, I think she'd look good in an oval configuration, which that's probably going to make it pricey. But furthermore, I think I am going to send her along with Taj Mahal Mandala, my finish from like a year ago, last December. Like I finished that before New Year's and it's been sitting in my container for, you know, a year. I was going to mail her to Jill Renzel Framing Studios. And then I forgot about it for a little bit. Well, now I've remembered, and I'm thinking it's probably good because I would like to send Taj Mahal and her to Renzel Studios because their stuff is so cool. I know it's pricey, but I would like to at least have something framed by her, and I think that one would be really cool. But I think it would be cool if it was framed in an oval. I know that's probably pricier though, but we'll see. We'll just see what my options are. I like how they embellish the mats and stuff like that, and I kind of like do something starry or something for her. I think that'd be really cool. Maybe add some bubbles, or I don't know, something, you know. I just think that'd be really cool. I want to have a Renzel Studios, you know, frame piece, and I want one Chatelaine frame by her. So I think probably my first Taj Mahal, you know, big mandala would be a good one, and then that one. So yeah, I'm going to be probably contacting them pretty soon and sending them off. I know it takes a couple months for them to finish things, so that'll be a little while, which is probably good because I'll probably need the time to pay it off. So yeah, let's see. I think that's pretty much it for today. So I know I don't have a lot of stitchy progress other than this. I mean, the last time you guys saw her, she was just a head floating. I didn't have any of her torso done, and I had very little of the fish done. So the only thing left on her is the rest of her skin on her chest. I've got to do her arms, got to fill in around her neck a little bit, then I got to back stitch, and then I got to finish beading up top here. And I'm going to be adding extra crystals to that, so that's the only reason I haven't beaded it yet, because it's kind of close to the top. I'm going to have to roll down a little bit, and I just didn't want to squish anything in the process, so I decided to save that for last. So, but yeah, I will probably have a finish for that. Probably pretty soon here. I, you know, pledged to finish her before Pisces season. We're still in Aquarius season right now. So, you know, I'm looking on schedule there pretty good. And then I'm undecided whether I'm picking up an old design or if I'm starting something new. I'm thinking it's time for Rainforest Lace. So next time I see you, hopefully I'll have that started. If not, I'll have probably another chatelaine that I've already started on there. So, but I'll see you guys next time and you guys can find out. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.